Just about 1 o'clock. I'm calling the October 27th, 2025 meeting of the Albemarle County Architecture Review Board to order. Call the roll.
Yes. Mr. Henningsen,
Here.
Mr. Hancock,
Here.
Mr. Stoner,
Here.
Mr. Matsuno,
Here.
and Mr. Vanderwerf.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, thanks. Today's meeting is a hybrid meeting. The public may access and participate in the meeting electronically. Instructions for doing so are posted on the Albemarle County website at the Albemarle County calendar. The public has real-time audio-visual access to this meeting over Zoom and real-time audio access over telephone, both as provided in the lawfully posted meeting notice. This meeting is being recorded and will be made available on the county's website calendar. This meeting is a public record and subject to disclosure under the Freedom of Information Act. All speakers, when it is your turn to speak, please first state your name for the record. Applicants who are making presentations, note that your presentation is limited to a total of 15 minutes, which you can divide among your team members. Staff will let you know when the 15 minutes are up. If applicants in the meeting room have team members attending virtually who will need to present, please make that known when you come to the podium. Everyone who is participating virtually, please mute your microphone until it is your turn to speak. Do any ARB members have anything to disclose?
No.
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 All right, great. Are there any members of the public
No.
that want to make? Okay, and
Like a meeting.
I don't see any in the auditorium. We have one consent agenda item today, which is SDP 2025-00122 Archer North Phase 2 Initial Site Plans. Do any ARB members want to move the Archer North Phase 2 application off the consent agenda for discussion?
Well, I don't, if we move it off of discussion, there were some changes to the interior road network that I had some questions for staff about, but I don't know whether that means it has to come off the agenda. I don't want to burden them.
Why don't you go ahead and ask your question and we'll see how.
So it looked like the alignment of the roads from the, I assume the exhibit on the first or second page was like the original, like special use permit or whatever. It looked like the alignment of the road, the main entrance road had been changed. And then there used to be in the original proposal, a road along sort of the southwestern portion of the property line so that there would have been an internal road next to the parcel that's going to be, it's not part of this property, but it's going to be orphaned, I think, in terms of transportation because it's got critical slopes on the south. And so I just wasn't sure whether there'd been a separate thing that changed the road network since the previous one and whether the changes in terms of road alignment and network rose to the level that they needed other consideration.
I'm trying to pull that image up, but my cursor, here we go. It's back. The change that I had pointed out that was different from the rezoning, the approved rezoning application plan was that the entrance road from 29 originally had buildings on either side, and that's not there now. Let me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is the image from the rezoning, and is this the?
Yep. So it's that travelway there along that parcel, and I guess it's up to the developer, and I don't know that the county has an interest in it, but that parcel 46B5 1D, I guess it has an existing curb cut on 29. I don't know whether VDOT's going to allow them to maintain it, so I guess it continues to have access. I was just
curious. Yeah. I think I did ask about this change with not having the buildings on either side of the entrance road, and zoning had determined that that still was consistent with the application plan. So I would guess that not having that travelway here would still make the plan consistent with the previous application plan.
Well, then I guess the second question I had was just since that other parcel isn't in control, doesn't have the buffer, and the site rises like 20 feet or more, I think, from 29 to the pad where the buildings are. Whether the alignments or misalignments of those buildings with the entrance corridor would be readily visible and might be worthy of consideration.
Align them more oriented parallel with Route 29.
Right. Whereas I think the original rezoning and the roadway that was there likely would have resulted in alignments that would have been could have been more.
Could have been, yeah. The way it's shown on the application plan is a building envelope, so it doesn't really
Right,
show
right,
what the
doesn't say
orientation
metal
is.
lines, yeah.
I think that if the ARB wants to add a recommendation that that the buildings be oriented parallel to 29, you're certainly, that's something you could add.
What's the distance? 29.
Hold on just a second. Let me see if I can get the measurement for you. $287.
Yeah, and I think grade wise, it's what, it's up more than 20 feet, I think, to that pad.
Taping plan yet?
So I don't know that I want to move entirely by myself to take it off the consent agenda. I think that will be readily visible enough in terms of the lack of alignment, at least until something else is built on the other parcel. But the development of the other parcel is compromised by access if now that there are two other primary curb cuts on 29, and I don't know whether VDOT would. I don't know. Anyhow, so I just feel like the realignment of the roadways is, in this case, maybe a little problematic. And so shall I, well, but I don't want to burden the meeting or y'all if if others don't share. Yeah,
I mean,
My concern.
okay. Well, then I'll move to remove it from the consent agenda.
okay, so I guess,
A second on the motion.
I'll second.
Okay, I'm sorry, who moved?
I
You
moved.
did, and then you
Caroline.
seconded?
I did.
You did, okay. I can't hear anything back here today. I'm sorry. Mr. Henningsen,
aye.
Mr. Hancock,
Aye.
Mr. Stoner,
Aye.
Mr. Mitsuno,
Aye.
Mr. Vanderwerf.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So I-
I'll just jump in. We don't have anything else on the agenda today, so for items that are typically on the consent agenda, we don't, staff doesn't have a presentation prepared. We do have the drawings here, so I'm happy to move
Okay.
around on the plans as needed.
Are these 2/2 townhomes? Anybody know?
It's a good question. They seem like maybe they're 3 stories with parking below, but I guess it depends on. I guess if they were 2/2, they'd have stacked parking, one under and one in the drive. 2 and 3
So
bed.
the notes indicate a mix of townhouse units, attached multifamily condo units, and an apartment building.
Them they're stacked because they're condos.
Right, yeah, and I don't know, is it clear where in the development the different types are?
Has the applicant provided any rings of the buildings themselves?
Not yet. It's not required with the initial plan.
Is your thought, Dave, that building 13 could be reoriented to
No.
maybe be parallel?
Yeah, I think, yeah, building 13 and well, and perhaps that's it. And 14 and
maybe.
15 stay the same. 12 is, well, 12 could be more perpendicular or parallel.
And this is the front, right?
Hmm.
At least with building 13, the front will face.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it could be with a little adjustment and inflection of certainly 13, possibly 12. End of 14, it could be more in keeping with the guidelines for being parallel to the EC.
Yeah. Is that the only concern?
That was the only one at the site plan level that I had.
Would we just issue a comment? Or do we want to see this again?
Well, this is an initial plan, so you're making a recommendation on whether or not it should be approved at this point. So you could, I suppose, depending how strongly you feel about the need to reorient those buildings, you could recommend that it be a requirement of approval, or you could just add it as a recommendation.
I feel like we don't have enough to make. Like, we don't know what the building looks like,
Can we
how
look at,
tall it is. I mean,
yeah,
if it's a stack, it's gonna be 4 stories plus a roof. It's 3 plus a roof.
but knowing we're gonna see the architecture again, does it make more sense for it to be a recommendation at this point?
You could also, your recommendation could be that you need additional information before you can recommend approval, and that information would be additional, the information you just mentioned. Building heights, possibly elevations.
I see a rendered version from 29. Just
So I guess if, so this is a site plan approval? Or this is a preliminary?
This is an initial site plan. Your action on an initial site plan is a recommendation of approval or not approval.
To the site review committee.
Yes.
So I guess my only concern is that if we're recommending approval before we've had a chance to see the documents that might allow us to say this alignment is fine, and then later we see documents that suggest maybe the alignment is undesirable, we can't walk the site plan configuration approval back, right? We can't rescind that recommendation.
Yeah, I think that the requirements, the submittal requirements for initial site plan do not include the architectural information. So I don't think that it would be appropriate to require the elevations or a rendering at this point. I think if it sounds like there's a concern, and I would recommend that your action be recommendation for approval with the condition that those three buildings be oriented parallel to the entrance corridor. If, I mean, that would take care of the concern.
Yeah, there's probably some constraints that led to the orientation the way it is. I think that layout probably allows them to maximize the open space and green space.
Or do so while maximizing the units, it may, and,
That's pulled forward and then you rear load.
Right.
Like where does that green space live?
right. Yeah, at least you'll have like a pretty good tree cover in that green space. So
And
we
it-
will see the architecture at some point.
Yes,
Okay. Could we, as part of that, request additional landscaping or?
you could.
well, I don't know that there's a great deal of room at the corner, because there's basically room for one tree on the property, along the line where the different alignments show up, I think.
The plan does show this grading onto that other parcel, so that would require some sort of easement to do that work. Could recommend replanting in there.
Right. I guess they'd have to get a planting easement in addition to, and they'd have to encumber that other property with a site plan approval for plant.
But I think if the green space has more vegetation, it lessens the impact of that it's not, fronting the corridor and it's not, we're also not looking at the rear of the units.
No, you're looking at. the
Yeah,
front.
We're looking at
Right.
a little park, even though it's up on a hill, right?
Yeah.
That slopes down to
Yeah.
that, yeah. So that's points for. Points against are, you kind of got this funny. Geometry of the buildings.
But to your point, if you push that way, force him to reverse this.
Hmm.
And run the road parallel in the way that it was originally.
Right.
They should be looking at the back of the unit instead of the.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with the recommendation.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think they could make the case back to us that the little green space is doing. the better frontage condition, or it's doing the work of mitigating the fact that it's not parallel. And maybe that's done through a visualization. Or, or they show an example of how they would have to do a different layout and how that would, leave us maybe with a road and the back of the units facing or the green space and some kind of weird island in between the backs.
So it sounds like folks would be supportive of a recommendation to make the buildings parallel with the EC or to demonstrate um,
I'm okay with that because they could look at it and, if there's a way, then we might have to weigh those. The new option with this option, and maybe they do something with this and that goes away, the parking lot, the little dead end parking lot. Take some space there, or, there's. Gonna have a different plan.
I think we'll have an opportunity when they submit the architecture to get a perspective, and at that point, if it looks like it's a problem, we can request a change.
Margaret, can you craft a recommendation?
So are you wanting to add a recommendation that they consider reorienting those three buildings?
I think
I'm not-
I would support that and that.
I support that. I think it's in line with our guidelines. It's something we talk a lot about. I think if they come back and watch the video, they can see the discussion and
It remains to consider. I think that's a consider and a recommendation that
And yeah,
otherwise
Find
we
them.
don't forward anything to the site review committee, right? And it has to come before. It would be an item that would come back for review, right? Or would
You
we,
mean if we, what,
I'm sorry.
we
yeah,
either
yeah.
accept it as it is,
go and forward it with recommendations?
yeah, or we add this recommendation and it moves through. What's the third option where it doesn't move through to the site review committee?
So I think your options are to either go with staff's recommendation as it was, change staff's recommendation to add a recommendation that the applicant consider reorienting the buildings. You could also revise staff's recommendation to say, to list a condition here that prior to initial plan approval, you the building should be reoriented, or prior to initial plan approval, additional information should be provided to indicate that the appearance of those three buildings as currently positioned will have an appropriate appearance. That was 4 options. There may be others.
But you're saying we can't ask for that as part of this preliminary site plan review, right? It's not a requirement.
As part of the initial site plan, the middle architectural elevations are not required. The applicant, you can ask for them, but the applicant is not required to provide them.
Would favor approval and reevaluation when we get to see the arc.
yeah,
Because I think to say consider reorienting buildings 12, 13, and 14 parallel to the EC street. If I'm the engineer looking at that, I'm gonna be like, that's absurd because that can't be done. You can't reorient all 3 of those buildings without losing a bunch of units or there's not enough linear footage to do it. I mean,
So everything, another question, just, everything does seem to be oriented towards this Archer Avenue, which is, that's kind of like setting the, and probably because it's the longest length of street, but it, it connects into, oh, I can't
Brook Hill.
remember the,
Brook Hill?
yeah. So it does continue off the page. Is that an existing road? I guess my only comment is if it made sense to align everything with that existing road and that road is not parallel to the entrance corridor, um, you're, you're gonna have a misalignment somewhere, either along that road or the entrance corridor, and the lesser evil is misalignment on the entrance corridor because it's further away.
We can also just alert the applicant to the fact that there's this issue that's under discussion and encourage them to come in for a preliminary review of the architecture as soon as possible, or at least to discuss the design of those 3 buildings.
It sounds good.
Sounds good. So if folks are comfortable with the recommendation, I'm happy to make a motion incorporating that. So I'm going to approve the consent agenda. Is that what I'd still move for?
I think that's fine.
Okay. And for the recommendations outlined in the staff report for the initial site plan to the agent for the site review committee as follows, with the amendment to add the recommendation to consider reorienting buildings 12, 13, and 14 parallel to the EC Street.
Wait, is that what we're doing? I guess the motion is made, but
Um,
were we recommending that were we just requesting, were we approving this and then requesting that staff reach out to the applicant, or?
We could do it that way, sure.
Well, that's what I thought the consensus, emerging consensus seemed to be, but
I am not supportive of the additional language. Because one, I don't think it's feasible. Two, we haven't seen the architectural to have any idea whether that's a sensible recommendation to consider or not.
I'm supportive of, I'll second the motion. I think it's protecting the language and the guidelines about orienting the buildings. That this, since we're forwarding our recommendation to the site plan review committee, like that's, to me, I think this is appropriate. I agree with you that there's a lot of constraints that we might not get this. But it reflects our pulling it off the consent agenda, having the discussion. So I'll second.
All right, we could put it to a vote.
Mr. Vanderwerf,
aye.
Mr. Henningsen,
Aye.
Mr. Matsuno,
Aye.
Mr. Hancock,
Aye.
Mr. Stoner.
No,
All right, thanks. Okay, so we do not have any regular review items today, or work sessions. So we'll move to other business. First of which would be the October 20th, 2025 minutes. I move to approve the minutes if anybody wants to second that.
Happy to second, if I may.
Right, if we could put it to a vote.
Yes, Mr. Vanderwerf,
Aye.
Mr. Matsuno,
Aye.
Mr. Stoner,
Aye.
Mr. Hancock,
Aye.
Mr. Henningsen.
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. I guess we did have another item, but Mariah is sick today, so
Right. We were going to come back to you with the follow-up on the form-based code issues. Mariah is sick, so we would like to reschedule that for the next meeting. November 3rd is the next possible date. I know Mr. Stoner said he can't be at that meeting. We can have Mariah contact you directly and run through all the issues, if that would work for everyone.
I'm sorry, this is November 3rd or sorry, November.
Actually, I can be at that meeting.
You can be.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
It's the following week that I cannot.
This is next Monday, right?
It's a week from today. Yep.
I'll be
So
here.
can it just see a show of hands? Because everybody, awesome. That's great. Okay.
all right, great.
Then I have one other item just real quickly. A few weeks ago, we had those applications for the rooftop solar installations, and we talked generally about setting up some design criteria for that. We're hoping to bring that to you later next month. But I just wanted to make sure that everyone was on board. What we were hoping to do was to set up another category of countywide certificate. So those rooftop solar applications would be able to be handled by staff. I just want to make sure everybody was on board with that concept. Good.
I am, yeah.
Good.
Awesome. Great.
Hmm.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Great. Thanks.
Thanks.
Oh,
Karen.
sorry, one more thing. There is a regular review item for the November 24th meeting. That's the Monday before Thanksgiving. Just wanted to get an early look at that. Does everyone plan to?
I will be out of town for that.
I will probably be in town, but obligated in otherwise. So I may not be able to attend.
Okay.
I'm here.
I'm unsure.
I believe I'm in town, but things have to be confirmed.
Okay. What about November 17th?
That works for me.
Yeah, as far as I
Pull
know,
it
I think
forward.
I can't be there on the
Yeah,
17th.
I don't think I can either.
I have conflicts on that day as well. But let me confirm the schedule on the 27th. I may be able to be available in the early afternoon.
The 24th?
Excuse me, the 24th, yes. Not the 27th. Sorry, I can't come to Thanksgiving.
Hey, he must be here.
Duty called.
So,
Okay, so hopefully, so let me make sure I've got this. So the 17th will not work, possibly the 24th. And while we're at it, let's just ask about the 10th,
December?
November.
November.
I will be out the 10th.
I'll be here the 10th.
I'll be out the 10th.
think I'll be here.
I'll be here.
We have a quorum on the
Can be,
10th.
we can do the 10th.
Okay, we will follow up with an email on those later dates, but did say a week from today, we would have a quorum and we can do the form-based code follow-up. Great. Thank you.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
So in that case, the next ARB meeting is scheduled for Monday, November 3rd at 1 PM. And we will have a quorum. So, and this meeting is adjourned until our next meeting on Monday, November 3rd, 2025. And it is 1:35. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.